Hello everyone and welcome back to another Squishmallow video, Easter edition. So first of all, sorry this is a bit late. Ideally I would have liked to get this up before Easter, but for reasons that are going to be made very clear throughout this video, I couldn't do that because I wanted to make sure I got all the Squishmallows that released for Easter beforehand, because especially after last year when a squad released in Home Bargains after Easter, for Easter. Make that make sense. And because it released after Easter and I got my video up before Easter, I didn't end up sharing them. So that's one of the reasons that this happened. Also, I now actually have a upload schedule. So I upload every other Thursday at 5 p.m. British time, UK time, whatever that is. It doesn't really matter because as long as you're subscribed with the notification bell on, you should be notified about my uploads either way, or at least pop up in your subscription box. So, you know, so maybe you should subscribe. Because of that sort of upload schedule, it would either mean I would have the video way too early or wait until after, and considering that everything was very slow this year regarding Squishmallows, I thought it would be better to wait until after, just to make sure I've got all of them covered. Yeah, also, I'm filming in daylight today. That's a bit unlike me, I know. Why? Because this video actually needs to go up tomorrow. So I need to film it, edit it, and get it done as quick as possible. So yeah, also, it's such a nice day. And yes, my ring light is on full power. You can't tell because it is so bright. But yeah, I think we've got all the elephants out of the room. So let's actually get into this year's Easter Squishmallows. I didn't buy a single Easter Squishmallow. Yeah, I'm just going to say it now. I didn't buy a single Easter Squishmallow this year, which shouldn't be too much of a shock after Valentine's Day, where I didn't buy a single Valentine's Day Squishmallow because there was one squad basically, and it was pretty bad, or there was the capsules and the squad, and neither of them were what I wanted, and also the price going up as well. I'm like, I'm not just going to buy it for the sake of buying it. So I didn't buy one of them, but I did have a little look around and I went on a hunt for them. For the Easter ones, one of the main reasons I didn't buy any, because obviously we got the leaks back in January and I said, hey, these are what we're going to get. None of them released. The reason I didn't buy any Easter Squishmallows, because I do love my Easter ones and it is my biggest seasonal collection, I'm pretty sure. The reason I didn't buy any this year is because they weren't available. So obviously I know in America a lot of the shops, basically all the shops, they got in all of their Squishmallows, whereas over here we didn't really get anything. Now, we did get 2 Squishmallows, which obviously I will cover in my hunting for them, because I did have a little hunt on my travels. But we did get 2 available in Smith's Toys and we got the capsule squad, but last year's capsules available in the Entertainer and then in Tesco's, and that's all we got this year. We didn't get a squad. We didn't get a squad in Tesco's. We didn't get a squad in Sainsbury's. We didn't get the 4-inch mystery capsules. We didn't get anything. Now, sometimes Claire's get something in, but Claire's is now shut down. So, rip Claire's, I guess. But yeah, so we no longer have Claire's over here. I know for the last year it's been a bit, oh, Claire's are shutting down in America, but we were fine. And then Claire's started shutting down over here. And I had 2 in the city, and I'm pretty sure both are now closed for good. So yeah, no Easter Squishmallows there. I've also not been in the city properly. I've been in the city in that, but like not to go around the shops since probably January. It's been a while, and obviously I usually go at least once a month, but I just haven't been yet, so that also doesn't help. But from what I have seen, there was basically no Easter Squishmallows. So when I was looking for Valentine's Day Squishmallows, I did come across an Easter one in Smith's Toys, but as of more recently, there was a second one that got released in Smith's Toys, which I imagine will still be available now. And then also on my travels for the Entertainer wise, I did pop in there at one point. You know, just have a little look, because I heard one of you guys had mentioned to me that the capsules were available in Smith's Toys. So I did have a little look over there. Nope, Smith's Toys. Whoa, no, sorry. The Entertainer. I'm a little bit tired, bear with me. They were available in the Entertainer, and they were available. There was actually quite a few of the capsules. I think this was back in, must have been February. Yeah, probably about February I last went. So they had a few of them, and then I also spotted them in Tesco's and asking around. They'd only see the Tesco's ones, so. But that's because the Tesco's toy section is the Entertainer. And that was all that was available. So the squads that we got teased at the beginning of the year, which I thought, oh, that'd be the Sainsbury's squad with the capsules, because that's what Sainsbury's has been doing this whole time. And I thought, or at least the capsules will also be in the works. Now, admittedly, I have not looked on the works website, but they never pop up anyway. And I haven't been into the works yet. I should hopefully be going tomorrow. So go follow me on Instagram and I'll show you if I found them, or subscribe so my next video I might show them off, or next squishmallow video or something. But yeah, apart from that, I've not seen anything. I've been looking on the Sainsbury's and Argos website regularly, because usually you can tell, or like they have them available. Not seen anything. I've also used Vinted as a thing. Like, as soon as they release, people then buy them, especially the capsules. People buy the capsules when they get the one they don't want, they instantly put it up there. And I have seen a couple which match the 4-inch capsules that were available, or that should have been available this year. And I've seen a couple people sell them, but not enough to go, oh, they've released. So I thought maybe there's a few people that have imported them over from America or something. I don't know. There is a couple that I wanted from both squads, but I guess I just won't get them then. That's fine. Yeah, whatever happened, especially around Valentine's Day. I wasn't exactly shocked that the Easter ones would take a while to release. I'm just now sat here a couple days after, or almost a week after Easter, and there's nothing at all. And I thought, oh, maybe they'll be late, maybe they'll be, right at the last minute, maybe they'll be late. Nothing. So I've just had to accept, okay, yeah, cool, they're not gonna release. But after what happened, as I mentioned, what happened with the Valentine's Day ones, it took a while to release. They released at the last minute too, and also there was an issue with the pricing, because they were like, what was it? They were priced incorrectly, and then when they were corrected, the price had gone up a little bit, like I think £1 each. So I'm not too surprised that Easter suddenly flopped a bit, but I wasn't expecting there to be nothing. Especially I was really getting my hopes up after Halloween, because we got all of that. We got like a ton of different squads, and we got the 4-inch mystery capsules, and we also got the Halloween mystery capsules, and we also then got Halloween clips. We don't get seasonal clips. So then I got my hopes up, and then Christmas was decent, and then Valentine's Day was a bit of a mess, and then Easter just didn't happen. Which is disappointing, because again, do love the Easter ones. So it was weird that suddenly Halloween we got all this crazy stuff, and I got my hopes up, and now all of a sudden we got to Easter about 6 months later and there's nothing. So don't know what happened there. Really disappointed, actually. Really, really disappointed. So let's talk about the squads themselves. So obviously I teased these and I was like, oh, I'm really excited. Now, actually, out of these squads, I probably would have only bought one, which would have been the mystery capsule to get this bunny. Now, this bunny actually came out last year, and I desperately, desperately wanted it. There was one person, or at the time, a couple months ago, there was one person on Vinted who was selling this bunny as an import. That was a clip, and it was a bit expensive. It was like £13. So didn't really want to spend £13 on a clip. Plus the however much the postage was going to be, and then that's just going to stack up, and I don't really want to do that. And I also prefer the clips if they're the characters that have wings. Don't ask why, I just prefer it, okay? But I have now seen people who are selling it in the 4-inch, where it must have come out of the capsule, or I think in the 5-inch. Like, I have seen a couple people, and I am contemplating getting it because I do desperately, desperately want that one in my collection. But yeah, so that would have been a cool one to have. And I don't remember if there's any other ones in the squads that I was like, oh, I would have that. So maybe I wasn't too desperate or disappointed. I think it was just simply because I wanted that one and people now do have it available on Vinted, so maybe I'll just buy it thing. But and I was tempted to buy it, so it's in time for this video, but by the time I saw it and you went the upload thing, it wasn't gonna happen, okay? But I think now the way the Easter's gone, I think it brings up a bigger conversation with Squishmallow collectors, especially over here. Squishmallows have been dying out for a while. You can kind of tell. I could kind of tell with obviously the popularity. They were huge back in 2020, 2021, 2022, I think is when it started to decline a bit. And that's when I jumped onto it. No, to be fair, I've been collecting Squishmallows on and off since they first released back in 2017, 2018. But I really got into it in 2022, especially after I started uploading on TikTok and on here, and they were doing well. And obviously, I would have probably ended up buying these Squishmallows anyway, but you know, having it to share with you guys was pretty cool. But yeah, and just in views and interest and everything, I have seen that people have, you know, moved on to the next thing, like Jellycats or Labubu's or Palm Pals or, you know, especially the Jellycat craze from, what was it, last year? Year before? So I wasn't too surprised by that, but then also seeing like the decline in shops. Like I've always mentioned that we would always get the bad squads. There would always be one specific squad it would be a pretty naff squad, and every single shop would get this one squad in. And there'd be like some of the popular ones that would sell, and then they'd be just left with like the really bad ones. I think there's like a guacamole dip one. Every single shop had that one or that squad in, and no one would buy that one, so there'd just be a ton of them. Or is this one cheese? Every single shop would have it in and no one would buy it. So we get like those sorts of squads, and like yeah, once one shop gets it in, they all get it in, and there's not a lot of variety over here is what I'm basically trying to say. So that always sucked, except for Claire's. Claire's was good, and then I made a video how good Claire's was, weighing up the pros and cons, and then Claire's just kind of fell off as well. I know Claire's doesn't exist, so there's that. But I've also, yeah, so they get all like the really naff squads in, and we don't get much variety. We never got much choice, which always sucked. But I think also more recently as well, like the shops have less of them in. I think for the last year, I've seen the Entertainer get less and less in, and considering they used to be the only place you could get mystery capsules, it was a bit odd. Like it was just getting less and less and less to now. I don't think they even have a section, and the only stuff they have is like online. They still have stuff, but in store they basically have a nothing. Like they have nothing, and it's all reduced because they're just trying to get rid of it all for the next to bring in the next thing, which I think is a little disappointing. And then I didn't go to Smith's Toys for a while, and online they have a huge selection. But when I went in store, well, I went to one a different one than what I'm used to. I showed that in my Valentine's Day one. I went in there and it was a tiny, tiny section. Like there was nothing. And I thought this is just really sad. And I thought, oh, maybe it's just because this is one I don't usually go to. And then not long after that, I did then go to my own, and I saw what used to be the entire thing that was covered from floor to ceiling in Squishmallows was now nothing but a small sliver with not much variety. And you know, seeing that, I was like, oh, Squishmallows are just on the way out, I guess. And I think it's then also annoying when in America we've always seen they have huge sections of Squishmallows upon Squishmallows, and we don't have our little section, but we would be really grateful for our little section. Especially when it came to the seasonal stuff, like they would have so much, and we would get our one squad, and we'd be like, yes, we appreciate this one squad. But the thing is over here, and I've seen it with trends time and time again. Like I've been part of trends. I was on the loom band craze back in 2014 when I was like 7. Um, and I still do that. I still love loom bands. Do I make them anymore? Not at the moment. Occasionally I might do it, but I still have my entire collection. It's taking up all of my room. But you know, I was on that wave back then, and again, never really got over it 12 years later. But oh, that's weird to think about. To the point where I've seen people that were my age at that time now also making loom band bracelets. So I've gone, oh, okay. So I've watched the full life cycle. Anyway, I'm rambling, but you know, loom bands, they came and they were huge. I don't know if you guys remember that from 2014, but loom bands were huge. And then they died off, whatever, not for me. But the thing was, over here, there'd be shops and they would have, like, you know, I remember the range used to have this full wall full of like bags of bands and stuff, and it was so cool. But as soon as the craze died out, they wouldn't stock it anymore, and finding loom bands was so difficult. I got most of my stuffs from my friends when they didn't want it anymore, or from charity shops. Whereas in America, people could still go into their craft stores and they could go to shops and they would always still have loom bands available. And I think over here as well with JoJo bows, I was also on that one as well. Um, Maybe I was a little old for it, but there we go. And I used to buy JoJo bows from Claire's, again, rip, but and other places too. But as soon as the craze kind of wore off, they weren't really available to buy. But by that point, I'd stopped wearing them because I was getting a bit old. But whereas in America, you could still buy them, and I know that obviously she's discontinued them now, but I think she's bringing them back. I don't really pay attention to it anymore, but there we go. And then there's other stuff as well. I've seen it time and time again. It's when there's a craze, it's available in America in mass, whereas over here we get a smaller amount of it. But as soon as the craze is over, we know the shops just get rid of it all. And even if you still want it after the craze, you can't necessarily buy it anymore. Whereas in America, you still can. And I feel like Squishmallows are now going down that route, which is a shame because obviously I'm not as much into Squishmallows anymore. But I don't know if that's because I'm just kind of gone, I want to move on to the next thing, or because there's a lack of availability and good ones that I want to move on to a new thing. But I don't even want to move on to a new thing. I just usually go from like an obsession to an obsession to obsession. Funko Pops, that's another one. I got into Funko Pops. I have a collection of them, mostly Marvel ones and some others. It's a pretty cool collection. I'm not really into them anymore. I just hoard them because I don't really want to part with them, but they're taking up too much room, so I don't know what to do with them. Anyway, but then they were a big thing during, like, especially after 2020 and onwards. And I remember Smith's Toys used to have a huge section full of them, and Smith's Toys still does, to be fair. But the Entertainer got got a large section in, whereas now you go in there and they don't sell any. They're just trying to get rid of them all. So I think that's another big thing where, you know, there's, as soon as the craze dies down, they just get rid of it all, and you can't buy them anymore if you still want to. So I don't know. I think Squishmallows are now going down that route, which really, really sucks. They're still available on Vinted. Talking about Vinted, I have some available on my Vinted. So if you're interested in buying some of my old Squishmallows that I don't want anymore, they will be available on there. I've done a whole video on it. But yeah, I just wanted to mention in this video. One, obviously this is my Easter video. No, I didn't buy any. There was none available. This really sucks. And also just addressing the massive lack of Squishmallows going on. Obviously, I know some are still available and you can still buy some, and you know, but I feel like they're on the way out. Yeah, that was a bit of a depressing thought. I'm supposed to be happy and light because, ooh, Easter Squishmallows. But yeah, that's just where I'm seeing Squishmallows go at the moment. And it is really, really sad because obviously I do like my Squishmallows. And it's also content for you guys. But that's also kind of another reason why more recently, obviously I've always done other content apart from Squishmallows, but I've been trying to branch out into other content because, one, I just want to explore my other interests and, you know, do that sort of thing. Whereas also, I can't really do Squishmallow content if the Squishmallows are no longer available. And yeah. So that's why I've been doing other content too. But that's the state of the Squishmallows. Obviously, I will still collect until I can't find a single one that I want anymore, but I am getting to the point where there isn't any that I want anymore except Strawberry Bunny, and there's also the fruit bats that I'm still trying to look for. So if you can find me those fruit bats in the clips specifically, that'd be great. Just let me know where you find them, especially on Vinted and that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I don't really know what to do going forward. Obviously now it's coming up, now the Easter video's out of the way and it's coming up to the summer. We don't have any seasonal Squishmallows coming out over the summer, so I typically don't necessarily post a video until about August, when I've gone, okay, here's all the Squishmallows that aren't seasonal that I have bought in between thing, and then I get ready for the Halloween video. So I have bought some Squishmallows, so there probably will be a Squishmallow video at some point during the summer. As of right now, I might be quite busy because of birthday stuff again. Stay tuned for that if you're interested in fashion content and thrifting. But yeah, I have bought quite a few, so I'd probably do a video like that again in the summer. But I'm not gonna say, hey, come back for my Halloween video, because there might not be one. Because yeah, like, I don't know. So yeah, sorry this is late. Sorry I didn't buy any squishmallows. Sorry it took a depressing turn where I've gone, oh, well, yeah. Also, I opened up the community tab on my channel. So if you want to be part of the community tab, that'd be great. I might post stuff on there. Not quite sure how it works still. But obviously I was going to put a thing like, oh, has anyone seen the Easter squishmallows? But I did put that on my Instagram. And no one had seen any because they didn't exist. But I always put it on there and then I basically forgot. But yeah, so you guys can post on it too, apparently. Didn't realise you could do that. But if you guys find Easter squishmallow or just squishmallows on your travels and you just want to share it with the class, go ahead. Or, you know, you find any exciting finds when you go, oh, it's available in this shop, it's available in this shop. Bear in mind I am in the UK. In previous videos I have noticed some people have gone, oh wait, there's these Easter squishmallows available at this shop. I'm like, that's really sweet, but we don't have that shop over here, or at least where I live it doesn't exist. There might be one in the entirety of the country and it's probably near London, you know. But it's like, oh, that's really cool, and yeah, those squishmallows sound great, but I can't actually buy them over here because I don't live in America, which is where most of these videos go, where I just rage because we don't have the same squishmallows. But there we go. But yes, that tab's available, so you can post your finds or say, hey, by the way, the Easter ones did come out and released here, or oh, here's the Halloween ones or the Christmas ones, like if they do end up happening this year. But and then also when I have my other content, it'll be more fashion, thrifting, stuff I've already done before, maybe some crafting stuff because I do a lot of sewing. I've really been getting into that recently. And just more kind of vlog, lifestyle vlogs sort of thing. So obviously then that community tab will be there, showing off your thrifting finds because I'm nosy and kind of jealous. Also I post shorts now. I've always been doing it on and off. I've done it at least once recently. And I also upload on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to see updates on Squishmallows and just me in general, go follow me on Instagram. And then also TikTok, I do upload on that. Is it Squishmallow content? No. Is it more fashion girly content? Yeah, but if you're into that, I recommend you subscribe and go look at my other places. Yeah, I do sell stuff on Vinted, including the Squishmallows and other Squishmallow things. So go check that out if you're interested. Help a girl out, clean out some of her stuff. That'd be great. Much appreciated. But yeah, sorry this took a depressing turn. But yeah, if you really enjoyed today's video, I'm grateful if you liked it, so I know that you did. And subscribe with the notification bell on so you get notified when I upload, because I don't always pop up on the homepage anymore. And I don't think my content's being pushed anymore. So if you can subscribe with the notification bell, I'll make sure you have the notification bell on so you get notified when I upload my videos and you can be the first to watch. Also, comment down below on this video. Did you guys manage to find any Easter squishmallows? Did you guys have any luck this year? What are your thoughts on the current squishmallow situation over here? And if you live in a different country, what it's like where you are? And any thoughts on the video in general? I'd love to hear it. I do try and reply back to most of you. I do get a little nervous, please bear with me. And also just comment anything on the video, related or not, as long as it's sensible. But thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in another one. Bye!